What's happening, people? Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really do appreciate it. I am hands-free in my truck. I got a microphone on, so we are all good there. Again, I am bobtailing, heading to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. From there, I will hook up to. While I'm there, I will hook up to a trailer, and then head back up to Appleton, Wisconsin to pick up, I believe. I'm not sure, I'd have to check. Not checking right now though, because I do have to drive. Again, thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. These little talks, I find out, really help me, really help my mental, really help me think clearer. Stuff like that. So thank you guys for listening. If anybody listens, I know the algorithm hasn't been too kind to my videos, but you know what? It feels good to me, so I'm just gonna freaking do it, you know? So yeah, thank you. Today, what I wanted to talk about is something that I keep hearing lately. It's a little saying that people are talking about, and that's sharpening your sword, or sharpening your axe, or, you know, perfecting your craft, stuff like that. And for some reason, I keep hearing it over and over again. So the first time recently that I heard it, it was on the Pat McAfee show. And for those of you who don't know what the Pat McAfee show is it's a former punter hosts his own show, and they talk about sports. Yeah, he spent 8 years in the league, you know, pretty successful punter. Funny guy, he's a comedian, he runs some businesses, real entrepreneur, business-minded, so the guy's awesome. So anyway, he bought an Oculus, and an Oculus is like a virtual reality thing for I believe Facebook made it, I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments below. I think Facebook made the Oculus. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's this virtual reality. You know, you put the thing on your head, and you got two controllers that you grab onto, and then, you know. And he's been doing this boxing and ping pong game on there. And he's just been sharpening his sword, he says. Which I find hilarious. I mean, it's a video game, you know. I mean, I love video games, but when you're sharpening it, I don't know. I just find it funny. Maybe the way he says it, because he's a naturally funny guy, but I just find it funny. Anyway, he's trying to get better at the game, trying to, you know, and I guess this game, I mean, it makes you sweat, it makes you, you know, it gets your heart pumping and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Every day he's talking about that Oculus and how it's sharpening how he's sharpening his sword. So when, you know, the big dogs come in the arena, he calls it the Oculus Arena. He knows how to defeat them, you know. And at first he wasn't that great, but now he's sharpening his sword. And then after that, a YouTube video came on, and it was about, I don't know if you guys heard this YouTube channel, Think Marketing, I believe it's called. Think Media, Think Marketing, and it's with a guy called Sean. His name is Sean Cannell, and another entrepreneur. Teaches people how to grow on YouTube, which I find really interesting. I love the little details that they get into and all that kind of stuff. He was talking. He starts this video. Usually their videos are very professional, you know, the lighting, the camera, the audio, all that kind of stuff. But this one was just kind of off the cuff. I think that's the phrase. Just spontaneous. It seemed like the audio wasn't that great, but the message was awesome. The setting, I believe he was in front of a TV. You know, usually they got the studio and stuff. And anyway, whatever. That didn't matter to me. I usually listen to the people that are on YouTube, so visuals don't really matter to me. But Sean Cannell was talking about, you know, he gets on this he gets in the camera, like the frame, and he's got this axe. I'm like, well, what the hell is he holding, you know? Well, he's talking about sharpening his axe, you know, really perfecting his craft, really leveling up, you know, because last year, you know, they made millions of dollars in revenue. You know, they started multiple channels. They grew the business, I guess, to a very large degree, and he wants to sharpen his axe even more. He wants to grow even more, you know, and I just find that so interesting. Maybe because I don't have a skill that I'm trying to sharpen. I mean, maybe this talking thing is what I'm trying to sharpen, but you know, sharpening your axe, it's really interesting to me. It's really interesting that to me that people really hone in on their craft, and you know, they just know everything about it and every little nook and cranny and detail, and if you got a question, they will answer it. That is perfecting your craft. That is, I mean, that's craft perfected, in my opinion, you know, and I just really find that interesting. Another example is my brother. My brother works in a chicken manufacturing plant where they package the chicken, and you know, they pretty much package it. I don't know what else to say there, but they package it, and you know, before they package it, they gotta. It's hard for me to explain because I don't know exactly what he goes through, but the way he was explaining it was, there's this big tub of chicken that just kind of drops, you know, that drops on this platform, and you know, when something wet drops, you know, it splatters, and it makes the whole room dirty. Well, his job, and he said he doesn't mind it. Hey, somebody's got to do it, right? His job is to clean all of the chicken off the walls, off the desks, if there's a desk in there. I don't know why there would be a desk in there, but you know, off the walls, off the tables, off the, you know, everything. Everything has to be spotless after this chicken slops on this platform. So I'm guessing after it plops down, they kind of package it from there. I don't really know. And so he was telling me how hard it is. And you're probably thinking like, what? How is that hard, cleaning chicken off the walls? Well, I thought the same thing. Well, he's telling me that you got to go into every little thing, every little corner, every little nook and cranny. You got to be detailed oriented in order for you to be successful at this job. And I'm like, oh, damn, you know, like, that's pretty intense. He's like, yeah, his body is sore from, you know, bending in weird ways and, you know, reaching up and cleaning this stuff. What he uses is a pressure washer. And he's not doing this by hand or anything. He might in like little corners or whatever, but he's using a pressure washer, and he's got to just, you know, maneuver that thing around like a professional, you know. And yeah, so he's talking to me about this job that he does, and he's like, yeah, I'm not as good as another guy that's doing it. He was talking about how his partner or a guy before him, you know, the shift before him was just spectacular at this job. In order to be good at this job, you got to have all the chicken off the walls, off the blah blah blah, off the floor, because, you know, old chicken, that's bad, obviously. Bacteria, all that kind of stuff. Salmonella, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, he's telling me how this guy is just really good at his job. He just really knows how to, you know, clean these walls and floors and stuff, and he pays attention to detail, and he can maneuver in different ways, you know, to get all the chicken off these things. Excuse me, burp. But, and I thought about that, and I'm like, oh, that guy perfected his craft. Or he is perfecting his craft. Now, I keep saying perfecting your craft. Nobody's perfect, obviously, I know that. You know, there's no such thing as perfect. You can't perfect your craft, but you can be extremely good at your craft and try to get better. And I feel like that's what that guy was doing. I just find that so interesting. It doesn't matter what you do in life. You just gotta perfect your craft. You know, and just find it so interesting. People in fast food restaurants, whether you're cooking, you know, bussing tables, anything, perfect it. You know, if you're flipping hamburgers, make that perfect hamburger every single time. And now I know in fast food restaurants that's not always feasible. You know, you got 80 million other things you got to do, but you know, if you have the chance to really hone in on one skill, perfect that. When I was at Pizza Hut, I used to work at, oh, now I just said it, Pizza Hut. Shout out to them. Hopefully they all don't disappear. I know that some of them are disappearing, but when I worked at Pizza Hut as a cook, I would try to make the pizzas look the best I could. The pepperoni's got to be in the right spot. The cheese got to be spread out evenly. You know, the sauce got to be spread out evenly. The peppers, all the condiments on it, just perfect. So it's appealing to the eye. And I believe that's what people strive for, is, doing things that appeal to themselves, really make them feel good about themselves. And I just find that so interesting. I mean, I look at successful people and they're sharpening their axe every day. I mean, it's really cool to see. So yeah, that's what my brother does. He cleans rooms full of chicken. And it's funny, he sent me a picture the other day, and if you've ever seen Breaking Bad, when they're cooking the drugs, they got all this PPE on, to protect themselves from the fumes and the heat and all that kind of stuff. He looked exactly like a meth cooker. I don't know, meth producer. It's a drug dealer, okay? And it was really funny. He's got this huge mask on. He's got like a poncho on, like a yellow wetsuit on. It just looked funny. It looked like he was ready to work, So I just find that super cool. Yeah. So perfecting your craft, just excuse me, just really being detail oriented. I just love. I love different stories about that. I love how, the process of doing certain things. And I myself try to be detail-oriented. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but I do try to. I strive for that, no matter what I'm doing. Sometimes it is pretty annoying because you're trying to perfect that one thing, but we just have to realize that when you're working on something, it's not going to be perfect. But if you continually to work on that one thing, you'll be getting better at it. You'll be perfecting it. So, again, nothing's perfect. Nobody's perfect, but you can strive for getting better at your job or at your craft, hobby, anything. So I believe the world is full of people like that, and yeah, I hope you learned something from it. Next time you think you're not contributing to society, or you are. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You are. I mean, unless you're like a bum on the street, which that's another video I want to make. I want to help bums on the street one day. I want to be so wealthy that I can make homelessness go away. Obviously, that's a huge thing to do. That's another video, but if you are at a restaurant, or if you got a quote-unquote dead-end job, or whatever, just, hey, it's important. Somebody's got to do it, right? So perfect what you're doing. I don't care if you gotta, put two pieces together and put it down the assembly line. Hey, make sure those two pieces are just phenomenally, I don't know if that's a word, but make sure those two pieces that you are putting together look fantastic for the next person to, deal with, or whatever it is. If you got to put something in a bag, make it look nice. Really take pride in your job, no matter what that is. Really hone in on that craft, on that specific task that you need to do. So thank you all for listening. I really do appreciate it. If you want to go ahead and press that like button, maybe subscribe. These talks are really helpful. They make time fly while I'm driving, so I appreciate that. Yeah, I really do. And let me know in the comments below what you do. I mean, you don't got to tell me where you work, all that kind of stuff. I don't really, your privacy, that's your privacy. But tell me what you do, If you want to be as vague as possible, that's cool. If you want to get detailed, that's cool. Or a hobby, a job or a hobby that you are trying to perfect. So, hey, thanks for listening. Appreciate it. All right, bye-bye.